Welcome to the Smart Influencer Podcast. I'm Christina.
And I'm Corinne.
And together we help digital entrepreneurs streamline their businesses, maximize revenue, and finally feel in control of their time.
Every week we share tried and true strategies, proven systems, and expert interviews to help you grow your influence and income without the burnout. So if you're ready to get smarter about how you run your business, you're in the right place.
Now, before we dive in, if you love what you hear, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you find today's conversation helpful, be sure to share it with a friend who could use it too.
So today we are chatting with the beautiful KariAnne Wood from Thistlewood Farms, all about a topic that Christina has been super excited about ever since she heard KariAnne talk on this, personal branding. And we think this is going to be huge for 2026. Mm-hmm. So KariAnne, before we dive in and start asking you like a billion questions, can you take just a minute and tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes, my name is KariAnne, like y'all mentioned, and I write the blog and social media under the name Thistlewood Farms. I've been doing this for about 14 years now, and I am obsessed with every single aspect of social media and how to grow and how to make money. And we currently have a team of 5, and we have 28 different revenue streams, different ways that we make money. And it all started with a little farmhouse in Kentucky. I love conversations like this, and I am so excited to just chat about ways that we can all grow our brand and our business.
That's awesome. There were so many great topics when I heard you talk the last time that like you just had me like mesmerized. But what really pulled me in was where you started talking about personal branding. I mean, for me, that was like the aha moment. I loved everything else, but like that was, I think, what sent my brain like snapping in different directions. I was telling you before we hopped on the call, I said I was even late to my nail appointment because I couldn't get out of the car. I was still listening and I'm like, I've got to go, but I want to keep listening.
I love it. I love chatting about personal branding. I think it is the thing that is going to give us an added layer of protection with all of the changes with AI and all of that. So I think it's the difference maker for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're basically just proving to everybody that we are humans and we have something to share and really just to get to know us a little bit more so we can make that personal connection and build that know, like, and trust with our audience.
100%. I think I've been doing this so long and I keep pivoting. Like I'll do something and then I pivot and then I'll think, okay, that's not working anymore. And then I pivot. And the thing that I have noticed with all of this advent of AI and everything coming so fast and furious, I tell people, back in 2011, it was like this very slow churn of a wheel. It just was very slow. And then, 2017, we started getting a little faster, and now we're like, oh gosh, you could probably hear my bracelet in the back because I'm going faster, faster, faster. And the one thing that AI, at least at this point, does not provide to individuals is the sense of community, a sense of belonging, a sense of people that think, that enjoy the same things that you do, that, whatever you like to do. I always tell people, I started my blog because I didn't have any friends. I was real lonely. I was in Kentucky and in very rural Kentucky. Now I'm in Dallas, Texas, talking to y'all from the house I grew up in. This is actually the house that I grew up in. But I was, my husband moved me from Dallas to rural Kentucky. And truthfully, y'all, I just wanted some friends. I was like, I just, I need a few people to say hi to. And so that's really why I started my blog. And people always ask me, what was your strategy when you first started? And I always say, I just wrote the type of blog that I wanted to read. And along the way, guess what happened? People that like the same type of things that I like, those people showed up so it's almost like I always imagine my readership. Right now, we have over 600,000 people that read the blog every month. And I always picture us in a giant stadium all together. And we would all like the exact same things and want to talk about the same things. And I think that is at the heart of community building.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 100%. And I think that, throughout the years, like you said, things you have to pivot and change. But I think we got so savvy about, trying to work the system that we took a lot of the personality out of our sites and out of our content. And now it's like we're going backwards and we have to put it back in there. And I don't know if you have kids or if you've ever watched SpongeBob, but I always liken it to the episode of SpongeBob where, he goes from being square to round. Like they round off all his corners and he's more mainstream and he loses all of his SpongeBobby personality and he's like, "Hello, how are you? I'm Sponge," and he gets rid of all his like silly laughter and everything, basically taking what makes him him out of the picture.
Yes.
And the whole point of the episode is that's not the way to be. And for me, that was like just like the moment where I'm like, that makes sense. Like we've taken so much out. Now we're trying to scramble to put that personality back in and relate to people again.
100%. And I feel like, when you're reading blogs or you're scrolling through social media and you see so much of the exact same thing,
Hmm.
it's like, ooh, like, and
Hmm.
then you'll encounter someone that's different, that's unique, that's fun, that is just living their life. And I always tell people too, I feel like don't be desperate. Don't be so in the pursuit of, what's the next SEO trend or what's the next um, thing on social media that can all get more engagement and get more viewership. And I say to people, just show up, just be yourself, write what's on your heart, talk about what is on your heart, and your audience will find you. So for example, when I write a blog post, a lot of people they go to fancy tools and they look up all the SEO keywords and they do all these fancy things. And I'm not dismissing any of that. I think there's definitely gold in a lot of SEO tools. But what I do is I just find some keywords that I want to write about, and then I sit down at my computer and I actually use the dictation on my computer. So I have a Mac and I use dictation and I talk my blog post. And my
Oh.
blog post always sounds like this. Y'all, you are not going to believe what just happened. Like, can you even believe this? Like, I'm so excited about this. Like, I just found this new thing, or I figured out a new way to put lights on the Christmas tree, or I figured out a new way to like straighten my hair, and I talk to the computer just like I'm talking to all of those people that are right on the other side of the screen. And people sense it. They know, hey, this is not written by AI. This is not written by an SEO prompt. This is KariAnne just showing up every single day and providing value to the people that are reading. And also, my blog post and my social media is kind of written like, hey, come sit by me. Come sit by me. Let's be friends. And
Yeah.
that's how I approach every piece of content, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, is I approach it like, hey, I am not perfect. I am the least perfect person you will ever meet. I mess up all the time. Let's be friends.
So I'm going to pause you for just a second because like I understand the need for authenticity and I get the like wanting to humanize ourselves so we stand out from AI. But talking very specifically like about the topic that we've picked for today, like personal branding, can we take like a minute to define that and define like how it is you as an individual find that for yourself and more importantly communicate it to your audience as
I think
opposed to just like be yourself, right?
yes, be yourself is very general. Like, hey, believe in yourself. Okay, so specifically, what if someone is listening to this and they're thinking about creating their own personal brand? The first thing that I would do is I would sit down and make a list of about 5 to 10 things that you love. Things that and think through maybe a makeup product that you love, think through shows you like to watch, think through hobbies that you have, think through books you like to read and make a list of all of those things. And then start organically mentioning them throughout your content. So I'll tell you what my list is. If anyone is listening to this and you ever go to Thistlewood Farms, here's what you're going to find. You're going to find a very imperfect person who's always messing up, who loves red lipstick, British Red 350. I mean, L'Oreal $6, like the best red lipstick on the entire planet. You'll find someone who loves to read mysteries, all different types of books. You'll find someone who likes to play mahjong. You'll find someone who's trying to teach herself how to crochet. but more importantly, you'll find somebody who likes Hallmark movies and Judge Judy. And that is my list. Those are things that authentically, truthfully, if you were to come to my house at 4 o'clock every day, I am fixed on Judge Judy. I love a good Judge Judy episode.
I do too. I
Me
love
too,
Judge
see?
Judy.
And like, so if you mention that, if I mention that in my content to you, like I'm like, oh, I just learned the best thing on Judge Judy. Like, you should not rent a room to somebody off of Craigslist, And um, then you're thinking, yeah, I love Judge Judy too. And all of a sudden, we have this instant bond, this instant community. Like, you're like, I get her. I know who that person is, rather than me approaching my post and my content like I'm up on some lofty, hilltop preaching down to the people in the valley below. I'm like, oh no, no, no. I'm one of the people. I love to like learn things and teach myself and figure out new things. And then I want to share that with my audience. And that is the winning formula.
I love that.
Mhm.
Over like right before the holiday, I guess between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I recorded a bunch of short videos that I want to drip out on YouTube and excuse me, as reels. And it was basically all that like getting to know me stuff. And it was kind of inspired by that podcast episode that I first heard you on. And I'm like, I just want people to kind of get to know me. Like, what do I like? What is it about me that kind of makes me me? And I asked my family and friends on Facebook for ideas. Many of them didn't get the assignment though. They kept saying, "Oh, well, you're a good mom, or you're a
You're
good cook."
kind, you're generous,
Yeah,
you're
like
funny.
that's not what I want to know. Like if you were to see something in a story, you'd be like, "Oh, that's Christina."
Mm.
And some of them got it, most of them didn't. But that was the kind of stuff I was sharing in those videos. Now I just have to get to the point where I can actually drip them out as content on my channels. But that kind of got me down that rabbit hole of
And I think that's a great tip too. If I always try to give actionable tips on this because it's kind of hard to define and hard to figure out. But one thing that has had great success for me is I filmed a little welcome video. So it's two different types of videos. First of all, I filmed a welcome video like, hey guys, I'm KariAnne, and like I really like a good romance novel, and I like a mystery novel, and I have a dog, and I have 4 kids, and I live in the house I grew up in, and just introducing myself with some of my fun things. And then I took that video and I pinned that video to the top of all my social media. So it's the first thing that you see whenever you go to Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, or it's right there. Hey guys, I'm introducing myself. So you know who I am before I
right.
ever before you listen to any of my content. The second type of video that I think is great to make is when you have a bunch of clips of yourself doing different, because some people are real nervous. I love to chat with the camera, but some people are like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not really all about that. So another idea you could do is to take little clips of yourself, like doing things you love, reading or crocheting or quilting or painting or, um, you know, making food, recipes, all of that type of stuff, and then take those little tiny clips and put them into like, I don't know, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and do a voiceover over the whole thing, introducing yourself.
Yeah.
So it's an easier way to do it than just the chatting with the camera.
Right. Then you're not like on camera, just kind of talking
Yeah,
to it. Because
yeah.
that can, like, I can do a cooking video, no problem. But just sitting down and actually talking about myself was very unnerving for me. I didn't, I was very much out of my comfort zone doing that.
I
I could cook on camera all day long, but the other part, not so much.
Well, see, here's the thing. I can't cook at all. I'm a terrible cook. And that's one of my branding things. Like people know if you read the blog, like I could never work with I mean, like, I don't know, a brand that had a lot of cooking with it or something, because unless I was
Right.
saying I'm teaching myself, because people know, oh gosh, I barely even can make a box of macaroni and cheese. Like I am not good. That's why they have restaurants, like where other people are much better at cooking than I ever thought about being. But again, that's another piece. So people, when they, after a while, they start getting invested in you. And when you have a personal brand, this is when you know your personal brand is successful, is I have people all the time. They'll see something on Pinterest or Facebook or another social media platform and they'll send it to me and they'll go, this made me think of you. Like I saw this. And I think where the whole personal branding thing started was I leaned into blue and white. So
I remember this.
I am obsessed with blue and white. Like I redid the living room in the front room and it was all neutrals. And I lived prior to this, I lived in a farmhouse. Well, in a farmhouse, everything's vintage and kind of, it was real cool. And I was very neutral and chippy and older, antique furniture, that type of thing. Well, I got here to this house and it didn't work. And so I discovered this blue and white rug that is like, I was obsessed with this blue and white rug, and the world was obsessed with this blue and white rug. And so I became known as the blue and white rug girl. And I'm like, wait, if that's something that people identify with, blue and white, couldn't I build it out to other things? And so organically, through my content, I lean into that. The other piece of another tip I wanted to give is you can have little catchphrases that people love. So here are some of my catchphrases. So I always say, have a day as amazing as you are. So when I end my YouTube videos, I say that. I say, have a day as amazing as you are. I also say, you are so next level. Like all the time people will say, or I'll say, let's go. Like, let's go. That's another common phrase. So think of things that you organically say to your friends. That you're already saying, and then again, incorporate things that, there are other people that say you're amazing. I say you're amazing all the time to people, but other people say that. But when you repeat it over and over and over and over again, people will start saying it back to you. It's almost like I've thought to myself all the time, I need to have a line of merch with all of my sayings on them because I don't know. I just think the world needs a little bit more encouragement.
Yeah.
I say those things organically. And when I started leaning into and saying them over and over and over again on my content, people identified with that. And then they started like repeating them back to me.
That's
You know what I
awesome.
love about that is that, like, thinking about like all of these things that you've put out there that people now associate with you, I can see now, like, it's the connection, right? Because I have a couple people that like collect things or they have like a thing they really, really like. Like, my mom is super into like designer purses. That's her thing. So I know, like, for my mom, if I just get her a designer purse, I can make her happy. And then my fiance's niece collects turtles. And I love having that piece of information. Like, there's something about having that little
Yeah.
piece of knowledge about a person that makes you feel connected, even if they only know you from the internet. Like that one, people are constantly searching for it, I think, the piece to connect you. And the other thing that keeps standing out to me about this, because I've got teenagers, my youngest is 18, so like I have kids that are still very much dating, is how much this sounds like putting yourself out there to date, right? Like, about how you don't want to pretend to be someone you're not. Like, that might work on date one, but it's not going to work for a relationship. Right? Like, bringing like all of your flaws, having them out there immediately so that that works for the person or it doesn't. Even what you said about how, like, don't try too hard because, like, it's been a long time since I dated, but I do remember that, like, when you were like, oh, I need a boyfriend, or I'm so lonely, that's when like people would run from you. But then all of a sudden, when you're like, I'm happy with myself, or you started dating someone, so you weren't looking anymore, then people are coming out of the woodworks. Like, people will find you when you're not acting desperate. Like, it's so much of it sounds just like dating.
So it's your
Exactly.
business dating profile.
Yes.
Well, and I think too, I think no matter, people are smarter than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
And so no matter how much we try to disguise it, like, so in other words, you can tell if you go to someone's feed or their social or their blog and they're real, I don't know, needy sounding, or they feel like they just want to, they're a taker. They take, 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 take. You're gonna run. You don't want to have anything because you're already a little nervous because it's an online someone that you don't really know very well. And all it takes is one misstep, one thing that they don't like or respond to, that they'll be like, okay, there's a million people to follow.
Yeah.
So your goal as a content creator should be to be authentic and real and definitely lead into the people that are already there because
Mhm.
that's the secret that no one tells you. All these courses, all these people doing all this stuff, and they're like chasing new people, people that aren't even, don't even know them yet. And I say, no, 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 no. Lean into the people that you already have. Pour into those people. Make them feel like you are their best friend. Encourage them, uplift them. And then they tell their friends, and then those friends tell their friends, and those 10, and then all of a sudden you have a whole host of people that are all listening to you and watching you because their friend told them to do that, not because you are using tricks or tips or whatever to try to get an audience. Just be somebody that's likable. Like just
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
you know,
oh, Captain Obvious.
I think one of the things too is we've been forced to focus so much on perfection in everything, especially when it comes to video. Like you don't want to put it out there unless it's absolutely perfect, just so. But I found that when I lean into the imperfections, it's so much easier and so much less stressful for me. So, like for instance, if I'm cooking, 9 times out of 10, I have the wrong size bowl. All the time, I grab a bowl that is way too small for whatever I'm going to do, and then things are falling out all over the place. And I've just, instead of swapping it out and redoing that to make it look perfect, I'm just like, yep, grab the wrong size bowl again. So here's what we're going to do, because I always did it. So I've learned that just embracing that is so much easier. And people relate to that. They're like, oh, yeah, I always grab the wrong size bowl too. So it's
Yeah.
like I grab what I think and then get the next one bigger. Like, okay, I think I need this one. I really need the next one bigger.
Well, and you don't want the people in your life that aren't going to resonate with that. Like
Yeah.
I had that at Christmas. Like I do a big countdown to Christmas campaign and where I give a free gift every day. Well, I might like because I'm me, I made a blunder, early on, like a couple of them actually. And some of the people that wrote back were so nasty. So
Yeah.
like I sent out an email like, oops, sorry about this. Like, thank you for those of you that were kind and how you pointed out, like how you brought it up. For the rest of you, like this is supposed to be a joyful thing. If it's not bringing you joy, please unsubscribe, right? Like, and I meant it. Like, get off my list. You are ruining my
Yeah.
But
life.
here's the thing. Okay, so here's how I approach stuff like that. And I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I'll never forget. I'll never forget. One time I was doing this big post with Walmart, and I had like this. It was my front porch, and I had all these pumpkins. I was so proud of it. It had like pumpkins that I painted and mums, and like it was a sponsored content piece. And this one lady got on there, and she was like, "Who even decorates like this? It looks like a fifth grader did it. Like who in the world?" I don't know. And that was such a turning point for me because I thought in my mind, first of all, this lady does not even know me. And she is setting herself free to comment on my porch. But then if I flip that, this is my job. I'm putting myself out there. And then because she had a negative comment, then other people kind of started discussing in the comments and talking about it. And like some people liked it, some people didn't like it. And you know what? I made so much money off that post. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Wait, you don't like? Oh, tell me more. You don't like my pumpkin? Come on, come. Oh, tell me all about it. And I learned in that moment that sometimes a little bit of controversy, especially people set themselves free for sure now. I feel like there's no barriers.
Yeah.
First of all, they have no idea. They don't know me, but it's a great way sometimes to get more eyes on your content and also to not respond back. I don't even acknowledge those people or talk to them or do anything. And I think they probably have like blue shag carpeting in their house or something like that. And I just choose to say, okay, this is getting me more engagement
Yeah.
and look at it from that perspective and let your audience kind of speak for you, which does remind me another way. This is the gold tip for creating a brand that or personal brand. Okay, so I started this thing and I kind of did it by accident and didn't even know. And it is such gold, y'all. Okay, so what I do is, and I usually use it to sell people a bunch of stuff too. So what I'll do, I just actually did this upstairs in one of my rooms. I was redoing my daughter's room upstairs and I ordered a rug that was not cute. Or I didn't think it was very cute. And I put in there, I was like, oh, y'all, look, I messed up. I ordered this rug and it's not cute. Can y'all help me choose a rug for the room? And I want all opinions on these rugs. And I put 4 rugs over there. and which rug do you like the best? Well, a whole bunch of people like the original rug, which but a little bit of gold happened because when they went over to click and look at the rugs, they went to Amazon, which installed a cookie, which then my affiliate sales went through the roof. So it accomplished so much, a post like that. Number one, it built my brand again, my personal brand. I'm leaning into rugs. Number two, it allowed people to feel like they had a voice on my content, that they could a voice. People like to be heard, so they have a voice on the content. And the third thing is it made a whole bunch of money because inadvertently, I was actually really wanting an opinion, but inadvertently, all these people went over to Amazon and then I made all this extra money just by asking for people's opinions. So I think there's a lot of gold in asking your readers to
Mhm.
kind of weigh in on things.
Yeah. Boy, my brain is spinning with that now. Perfect time of the year to start thinking about ways to change things up.
I
But
did that with bidets. We were looking at
oh,
bidets. I'm like, all right, we're talking about it in the newsletter. Like, I'm looking at it. Does anyone have one? Tell me your thoughts. Here are the ones I'm looking at. Yeah. And they do, they click to see. So, yeah.
yeah. And I think sometimes understanding, and I've always been kind of waffly about this, understanding your target audience, and having the avatar per se. I've always been like, yeah, the avatar, whatever. But more and more as the older I get and the more I'm going down this path, the more I see the value. And I think, Corinne, you've done a lot of work with your personal avatar, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot. Yeah, because I'm so scattered. So
Yeah.
this is like last year was really an awakening for me to figure out like how to focus, what to focus on, and a key part was nailing down my avatar. Because I've just kind of generically for the longest time said it's me 10 or 15 years ago, which is true, but I need to really drill down on all the things they tell you, right? Like what are her pain points? What is she struggling with? How many kids is she trying to manage? And like, what does her day look like? And once I got clear on that, like every piece of content now I can create with a solution in mind related to that.
Mm,
It's super
yeah.
helpful and
Yeah.
also makes it easy, which Christina, I have a hard time with knowing what to say no to,
Yeah.
right? Because if I can't fit it in that box now, we just don't do it. It doesn't have a space.
Yeah. Do you have a personal avatar? Do you use that philosophy, Karian?
I love that philosophy. I do it kind of instinctively. I
Mm,
have not, to y'all's point, I have not sat down and really outlined a personal avatar, but instinctively, just over the years, because I have such a close relationship with my audience, I kind of know what to stay away from, what they like, what they don't like. And I know, and also too, on my blog and social media too, I've also noticed that there's a flow to it. So I write 5 blog posts a week. And I know, okay, it's time for a story. Like the audience is weary of me selling them blue and white rugs. Okay, we need a story. Okay, the audience is weary of too many stories. Now we need to have a decorating tip. Like I just can sense from them, and maybe because I'm always listening and reading the comments and interacting with them, I think that I sense instinctively. And somebody asked me, your blog kind of has this flow to it. What's your big secret?" I'm like, I just feel it. Like I'm like, I have a story now. It's time. It's story time. Maybe because I am so close to them and I
right.
talk to so many of them. I also think too, putting the time in with your audience is very, very important. So I know a lot of people just respond in the comments of a blog or they'll respond on Instagram in the comments. And I sometimes take it a little bit further. So I will send them a private email and just ask them about their day. How are they doing? I send them a DM. Sometimes I'll do a lot of voice DMs. People love voice DMs. It's interesting. We just opened up in September, we opened up an online boutique, which is an extension of Thistlewood. It's called Thistlewood and Co. And it's all makers. So it's people that make things and then
Mm,
I buy them from the people and sell them. So it sounds like Etsy. It's not really, it's more just like I find really curated, unique, cool things like hand embroidered books and handmade paper and very unique home decor. It's all home decor accessories. Well, I thought I'm gonna try this same technique with my audience on the shop. And so I would randomly select a person that had placed an order and put their phone number in, and I would call them.
Hmm.
And I would just say, "Hey, this is KariAnne from Thistlewood and Co. And we're just checking in with you to see if you liked your order. If they weren't there, I left a message like, hey, we're so happy that you're a customer of ours. People, I know that is so random and old school, and probably a lot of people are like, okay, we're never ordering from Thistlewood and Co. in case you call us. But to me, I think the world right now is full of, and this is what I always try to keep in mind. There's a lot of people that are sitting at their houses and they feel isolated and they feel lonely and they need friends. And social media has made that even more challenging for people because now you have people are working from their homes and they just are looking for someone that comes along and says, hey, I see you. You have value. You are amazing. You are so next level. You're incredible. And speaking that into people, I know it sounds like so generic, but I think it has value more today than ever before. So anything you can do to build your brand through personal connections with your readers, whether it's personal DMs or those voice DMs are gold. Responding by email, just not on the blog. A lot of people just respond right on the blog. Well, then I always think you're asking those people to come back to your blog and read the comment as opposed to meeting them where they
Mm-hmm.
in their space. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes
I
a lot of
love
sense.
that. And
Yeah,
it
I'm
doesn't have to be a phone call. Like you, if
Yeah,
you've got
calm
like,
down. I'm a little
yeah.
extra. So I'm not suggesting that for everyone. And it was more just like people that were some of our best customers in the shop. So I don't want to scare people. I mean, I wish y'all would order from Thistlewood and Co. It's a cute little shop. But but maybe I won't call everybody if you order. Okay, I'll just call a few.
No, but I love that. Like, and especially if you're just pulling them randomly, then no one,
yeah.
like, I don't think anyone has the expectation, but boy, what a treat. Like to know I've ordered, I am obsessed with popcorn. It is like my favorite treat ever. And I found the best pop in the world, in the world, City Pop. I'm giving them a call out. They're not advertising this podcast. City Pop popcorn. It is, I, I challenge you to find a better popcorn. It is literally the best popcorn in the world. So I found this popcorn. I have to order it. It's crazy expensive. Like, don't order it unless you really love popcorn. Like, your money's probably better spent somewhere else. But I was looking at one because I thought that I had a coupon. I didn't have the coupon and nothing was on sale. I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait till like another sale comes up. Left the site. Then I get a text message from them that's like, hey, this is, I'm going to get her name wrong, but like, this is Sherry from City Pop. Yes, I'm a real person. I saw that you were on the site and that you didn't check out. Could I help you with the coupon code? I'm like, sure. And she did. She created it like it was a very long coupon code. It was custom to me. And I'm like, are you really a real person? She's like, I am. Like, we had this whole little text conversation. I am like, I will buy from them forever. I already liked their popcorn, but like now I'm like, oh, there's real people. Like, I love supporting a good mom and
Yeah.
pop. They probably could automate it. I don't know. Like, I'm still, because Christina, we use so much AI. I'm like, I could see how you could do this with AI, but it was just, she said it too often that I'm like, I feel like you wouldn't lie this persistently, right? Like somewhere in there, I would have caught you up. But that personal touch, I'm like, there's a real human on the end of this messaging me. Like, nobody does that anymore, KariAnne, except for you, evidently. Like, nobody does that. So it stands out.
Well, and here's the thing. You are proving exactly what I said earlier. You said I'm a customer for life.
Forever. Yeah.
Took one phone call, one, not even phone call, sorry, one text.
Hmm.
And that's what I try to explain to people. We're so busy chasing new people. Why not put value? Because you just told two people about City Pop.
Yep.
Yep.
City Pop, is that the name of it?
Yep.
They better sponsor this. City Pop.
City Pop
I have to
popcorn,
try it too.
honestly, the best. I mean, the customer service was great. Of course, they're a little bit expensive for popcorn, but it honestly is the best
See,
popcorn.
here's the thing. You just told two people how great it was not just because the product's amazing.
Plus our tens of listeners.
Exactly, exactly. So you have now not only told us, you've told the listeners all from one interaction.
One text
Yeah.
And
message.
that's the gold. That's the gold right there
Yeah.
that everyone is missing. We are automating everything. We're saying, oh, look at this. The fact that you had to ask, was it a real person? You
Yep.
know, I and I think that's where the authenticity in the videos, in the talking, in the misspelling things sometimes, because I voice dictate my blog post, it's full of misspellings. And I try to use Grammarly. I go back, I try really hard. But I actually had a reader the other day and go that sent me a thing and said, KariAnne, I mean, I love you. I followed you for years, but you're really having a lot of errors. I'm happy to proof every single blog post for you before it goes live.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I was like, I didn't have to tell her I don't really overthink and do that. I just talk, click, send, post. Like I was like, I don't have a big system to do this. But the fact that even that she cared enough to call me, I mean to message me and say,
Yeah.
hey, proof all your blog posts for you, you
Yeah.
know?
As we're just coming out of the holiday season now, my son has a lawn care company. He's a sophomore in college and he kind of does this like in the summer on the side, but he sends Christmas cards to all of his
Oh,
clients.
I love
And we tried to brand it as much as possible. It's white birch lawn care. So I found these beautiful glittery Christmas cards with white birch trees. So when I saw them, I bought every box that they had because I'm like, oh, he can keep doing this and keep using these cards over and over. But he's like, do I have to write them all out? I'm like, I think you need to write them. I think you have to have like your handwriting in there. He got so much positive feedback from his clients on a stinking handwritten card that
And
he just dropped in the mail.
you're exactly right because again, not to sounds like I'm really hawking Thistlewood and Co. here, but at Thistlewood and Co. when we pack up all your stuff, we use all this special tissue paper and and then we write a handwritten note to the person and we get more comments. It's not that fancy. Like
Yeah.
the packing, I mean, it's not like, we're not a high-end brand. We're just a mom and a couple of daughters that are packing this stuff. And so, but the handwritten note and the wrapping and the little stickers, and people are like, this is the fanciest wrapping I've ever seen. And we loved your handwritten note. And I think that's what's making, because how are we going to compete with
Yeah.
large brands? How do we compete as little mom and daughters? How do we compete with that? We compete one customer at a time,
Mm-mm. Yeah.
one person at a time. And it reminds me of, okay, I'm going to tell you a little story. Speaking of story time. Okay, this reminds me of this story my dad used to tell me all the time. And this is at the heart of what personal branding is. So there was a guy and he was walking along the beach and he saw an older gentleman reaching down and throwing starfish. You probably heard this story before. Throwing starfish into the ocean, one by one by one. He'd reach down, pick up a starfish, throw it back in the ocean, pick up another starfish, throw it back in the ocean. And the guy said, why are you doing this? The beach is covered with starfish. There's so many starfish everywhere you look. How, why do you even care? It doesn't even make a difference at all. And the guy reaches down and he picks up a starfish and he throws it into the ocean and he says, it made a difference to that one. And that is at the heart of personal branding.
Yeah.
Pouring into one person at a time, making a difference, grassroots, and feeling like that, creating a relationship and a bond with that person, that then that person will go and tell other people, and then you build your audience that way.
Yeah. And it's a lot like what you said, Corinne, about City Pop. Like people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. I mean, that's just a fundamental marketing lesson that the know, like, and trust concept. And when you understand that, it makes so much sense. And it goes in with everything, whether it's your blog, your emails, your social media, the way you carry yourself in videos, like everything. You should just always be working to build that know, like, and trust with your audience. One thing I did on my site that I've gotten great feedback with, and I didn't even realize it was kind of leading towards personal branding until actually I listened to your episode, the last time I heard you speak. I have a list of 21 things you probably didn't know about me in my about page, just like random things. And it's funny when I get a message from somebody and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's my favorite song too. I can't believe anybody else knows it." Or like silly things like, like I'm deathly afraid of snakes and, just random 21 things you didn't know about me. And I just kind of did it for fun one day and it's really become a conversation piece. I've had brands reach out to me and mention that because they feel like they can connect somewhere. It's like, "Oh my gosh, I like this," or "I don't like that."
1,000%. And I also think too, just one last thing that I wanted to mention, I also feel like unless it's part of your personal brand, I try not to complain too much on my blog or on my social media because I guess personally, I just feel so blessed
Hmm.
at what I get to do that this is my job. This is my life. I'm doing this. Who even knew when, I was sitting across from that admissions counselor and they said, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I was like, "Wear a fancy suit and work in an office." And now this is my job. So I always lean into all of the blessings that I have and all of the things
Hmm.
that the joys that I have. And that's I think when you have that mindset, there are a lot of people complaining and whining and things are changing in our space and a lot of people are complaining about it. A lot of people are saying, well, AI is taking this job from me, AI is doing this and AI is doing this, and I understand that mindset. I can AI is coming and it's is scary and overwhelming, but I also think too, just reframing the conversation to where you're looking at what you have instead of what you don't
Hmm.
have. And then when you have that mindset, then your audience automatically picks up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're looking, they have enough trouble going on in their own life. They don't need you adding your stuff on top of what they already have. So I think so much of personal branding and what we do is here.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm going to
100%.
tell y'all a secret. I'm going to tell y'all a secret. I generally think that I'm amazing. Like I generally think it. Like not just like a little amazing. I think it is a good day to be me. I wake up and
I
I'm like,
love that.
it is
I
a
love
good
it.
day. It's a good day to be this girl. Like, good day. I'm here, all this fun stuff. And somehow, when you think that about yourself, the world thinks it too. It's as if the world's picking up what you're putting down, as my daughter says. Like the world picks up on that. And I don't say I'm amazing like from a cocky point of view. I think I am a very valuable person. I have worth. I have things that I do that I think, I mean, some things I don't do so well, but there are things I do that I'm amazing at that like your head would spin. You'd be like, how does that girl do that? She is so amazing. And when you think like that, other people will think like that too. And they pick it
Hmm.
up in your writing, in your videos, in your positivity, in your confidence, all of that. And then you become someone that they want to know, somebody they want to be friends with, because they say, that person, man, she thinks she's amazing. And well, I guess I'll think she's amazing too. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people don't understand that what you think about yourself, other people for sure will look at you through that same lens.
Yeah, you
Well,
set
and
that
I
tone.
I think another piece of that, because I'm a mega introvert, and I remember someone telling me a long time ago that if you're bad with names, it's because you're self-centered. And I'm terrible with names. So, of course, I was deeply offended by this comment. And what they were saying is that it means that when someone's introducing, you're like meeting someone, you're too busy in your head thinking about like the impression you're going to make. And so you aren't paying attention, which
Mm.
was very true because I was so worried I was going to make a bad impression. But when you're confident about yourself, you give that up so you can be more present with other people. You're more attentive to what people need. So it makes a lot of sense to me that if you're confident about yourself, not only do people see that about you, but you're more likable because you're trying harder to like other people, right? Like you have more time to notice somebody else's attributes and skills and what they're bringing to the table because you're not so worried about how you're coming off. So, yeah, that sat with me.
And and I
That's an
think that's at
interesting
the
way.
heart. That's at the heart of what I'm saying. Like I say I'm amazing, but
Yeah.
just because I'm amazing doesn't mean you're not amazing. Like I happen to think y'all are both amazing. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't diminish you saying
Mhm.
and believing that you're amazing. There's a room for a whole lot of amazing people in this world.
Yeah.
And so I think when you look at yourself through that lens, it allows you to look at other people through that lens. And then all of a sudden, you are leaning into people and you are looking for what makes them special because you come from such a place of like, hey, I'm great. I don't have to worry. I'm not in my head about myself,
Right.
to your point.
Right.
I'm not I don't take up space. I don't rent space in my head because it's a lot of room for other things like Judge Judy. See,
And mahjong, that was the other
and
thing you said that.
mahjong, way to bring it back around to personal branding. See, as soon as I said that, you're like, that's her personal
Oh,
brand.
yes. I crush at some mahjong, although we don't. My mom, I don't know which version you play. My mom raised us on mahjong, but we can only play mahjong if there's money at stake. Like it's no fun for anyone in my family unless we're gambling. And we're not gamblers. I don't know why. Like this is the exception to that rule, but
Well, I look at life as just gamification. I mean, I am a gamer with all of my. I said somebody said, "How do you still after all these years love what you do so much?" I'm like, it's the game to me. It's like,
Yeah.
can I level it up? Can I
Yeah.
go to the next level? Can I do this? It's like I'm in a giant video game,
yeah,
with my blogs and social media. So
And I think you're right. Like when you were saying about like mindset, that's like I think 100% of it
yeah.
is your mindset. And we've said this before on the podcast, or I know I've said it before. I know I'm not going to pretend to speak for Corinne, but you can look at AI as being, the worst thing to happen to our industry, or you can say, well, I can't stop it, right? I'm not going to be able to stop it. Little old me isn't going to be able to make them stop using it. But what can I do to make it work for me or to make it more effective in my business or my life? You can pout and stomp your feet and take your toys and go home, but you're going to be alone and you're going to be upset. So just look for a way to make it work for you. And that's kind of the approach I try to take. Like, what can I control and what do I have to adapt and pivot with? And I think
I
once you accept that mindset, it's easier to move forward.
so true, so true.
Yeah. Well, this has been a fantastic conversation, Karianne. I mean, I don't know if you're listening to this and you're not feeling upbeat and positive. I mean, I think you got to go back and listen to it again because this
Well,
has
and I
been
love
some,
how non-scary it became because when
yeah,
Christina went down this rabbit hole, I'm like, this just seems like another thing I've got to figure out how to do and devote time to. But it's really not. Like these are just kind of general principles and then like adhering to them, right? Like adhering to them and being true to yourself. I can do this.
You
yeah,
got this. You got this. That's another one of my catchphrases. You got this. You
I
yeah.
got
can do this. Yeah.
And it really wasn't hard. Like when you start thinking about it, it's like, I don't want to know personality traits. I want to know like the things. Like I love a pair of loafers. I love pearls. I love things that sparkle and glitter. And like
Me
it's,
too. Let's be friends.
yeah,
See? Me too.
right. I love solving true crime, things like
Oh, me
that. Like,
too. Me too. Me too.
see, when you start saying those kinds of things, it's easier to make those connections with people. So if you're going to a conference, you can open the conversations that way. Yeah.
Christina, I meant to ask you when you're talking about the 21 things about yourself, how did you come up with 21? Why was it 21?
Just because I was random and I
Oh,
got to 20 and I'm like, oh, there's one more I want to put in there.
gotcha.
And I'm
And
like, I'm the boss. Why does it have to be 20?
well,
Like I
and
want it
random
to be
numbers are
21.
always better anyway. You should always do like if you're do a list, don't do 10, do 11.
Okay.
Don't do 15, do 17. Don't do
Okay.
20, do 21 because all of a sudden 20 looks like you set your number and then came up with all your
Yeah.
ideas. 21 looks like, well, I had 21 things and I
I
had
listed them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like, why do I have to pick and choose what I'm not going to include? I could just put them all. I'm the boss.
I love
I'm in
that.
charge here.
I
yes,
love
you
that.
are.
So you don't have to be constrained by the norms. You can do what you want to do.
That's right.
But it was fun coming up with that list. I really liked coming up with it because it kind of helped me kind of figure out when I was doing that, like what do I think people would like to know about me that they don't know?
Well,
Yeah,
and just listening to KariAnne's list, like her short list of, the mahjong and like the things that she likes, it's so many opportunities for points of connection because
Yeah.
nobody's going to look at that list and think, oh, I'm going to have all 21, or like they won't have that expectation. They're going to have 21 in common. They're going to be looking eagerly for one or two points of connection. I
Mm-hmm.
love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go. I actually, you've inspired me because I have an about page that we all should be paying more attention to our about pages on the
Mhm.
blog. It's like one of the most people visit it all the time. And I have a story on there, but I think I'm going to go and I'm going to go add that. I love the 21 things. I think that's kind of bold.
I really
Look,
like
see,
that.
look,
Well,
you
there
taught me.
we go.
And I
Everybody
like
go
the
read.
welcome video. I made a note about that, Karianne. Like I think that's such a, I don't mind blabbing at the camera. It's only when I think about somebody having to watch the video later.
Yes,
I can do it. I just
yes.
can't rewatch it
Just think
later.
Well,
about me, like as if you're talking to me. Just pick one person and think of that.
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. It gets hard when you're editing multiple videos in a row and you have to listen to yourself for a whole afternoon. That's when it gets mundane and you're like, oh my God, I can't take my voice anymore. It needs to
See,
stop.
it's so funny. I listen to myself and I'm like, you are so good at this. Like you are.
I love
I
that.
love that. I love that. I
Like
want you
sometimes I
sitting
just
on
go
my
watch my
shoulder telling me that.
sometimes I just go watch myself. I'm like, you are so funny. You are so good. You are
If
so
you
good.
if you are just listening to this episode through a podcast player, you need to go onto YouTube and watch it in person because you will just, if you don't have a smile, you will have a smile on your face.
Let's
I
go.
love it. This has been such a great episode, and I think it's fantastic for the start of the new year. As we're getting into and thinking about our goals and our plans and what we want to do for 2026, I mean, I think we all need to focus on our personal brand a little bit more and set ourselves apart from all the robotic things that are out there or all the fake perfectionists. Like when you're scrolling Instagram and everything looks so insta perfect for everything, it doesn't have to be insta perfect. It's okay to make a mess.
Want to circle back on one thing only because you kind of said it very early and glazed over. It wasn't the topic for today, which is why I let it go, but it relates to the offer that you have as well. So you had mentioned earlier about your 28 revenue streams. So, and I know you've got a membership that, if I understand correctly, helps content creators make more money. Is that the
Yes,
gist?
yes, it's 1,000%. It's so I started the membership, like most things in my life. I started because people were asking me all these questions. So I would go and speak at a conference or something, and I'd tell people, hey, I have 28 revenue streams. And they'd be like, yeah, right. Like, what are they? And I was like, oh, well, I do this and this and this and this and this. And so what I did was I went and filmed a video for each of the 28 revenue streams. So we're working our way through. I think we're on revenue stream 24 now.
Wow.
Two new
Okay,
videos.
I'm dying of curiosity because I feel like Christina and I have very diverse revenue streams and I can't get close to 28. So you don't have to give up the list. Give me one though that isn't on our normal list.
Um, would be drop shipping, where you
Mm.
set up a store and do drop shipping
Hmm.
and you don't have to maintain any inventory. You just set it all up through a wholesaler and you can just start pinning things and make money without carrying any inventory in your store.
Okay, so if someone wants to learn all 28, the other 27 you didn't just mention, how do they find this out?
Oh,
How do they find it?
here's a link that I think y'all are going to share. And it's $17 a month, and you can go watch there's no, we don't want to make things too hard. So you can just go 1 month. And if you can watch all 28 videos in 1 month, or technically there's 24 now. If you can watch all 24, you could pay $17, watch all 24, and I'll see you later. Or you could go and each month we upload two more. Now, when I get to 28, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll think of some more ways to make money or revise some of the ones, but we upload two new videos every single month. And then also too, once a quarter, I do a big Q&A with the whole group. So I just get on there and we do a Zoom and everybody asks me all the questions about everything. But um, there's everything from how to go live on Amazon. There's an amazing extension called Oink where you can use creator connections to basically double your money, your revenue streams on Amazon. There's LTK, there's ShopMy, there's writing a book. There's, oh gosh, YouTube, Pinterest, of course, all of the things. So yeah, how to get your own merch line. Um,
And
Very
I'm
cool.
assuming you walk us through, like you handhold us through the process of doing all of these 28 things.
yes. So each video is between 30 to 45 minutes long.
Okay.
I have a PowerPoint and I just say, hey, first of all, here's why you should do it. Here's the potential for earning with this particular revenue stream. Here's how I do it. Here's examples of what I am doing. And here's tips and ideas if you want to do this yourself, including like websites. There's very specific. So, for example, with the drop shipping one, there I give you the list of, there's a whole directory of wholesale products, but I give you the list of drop shippers that drop ship home decor goods because that's what I am using them
Mhm.
for. Um, but there's very specific actionable items, and then we finish with like a couple of action items at the end of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that's especially strong for right now when people are like watching ad revenues start to drop off and trying to figure
Yes,
out other ways to monetize. Like, I love that you've got so many ideas beyond the affiliates and product sales, right? Like,
yes. And I didn't kind of mean to do it. It's just like, I don't know. I kind of just
you're a
started
serial entrepreneur. And you
like,
are.
oh,
Because
let's
you're
do,
awesome.
Yep, you are.
well, I mean, I am amazing, so of course I had I
I
had
love
to
it.
think of one more. And some of them bring in not very much money, and some bring in a whole bunch of money. So there's varying different, but I feel like with each one of the revenue streams, if a person, depending on your strengths and your gifts, if you leaned into one of these and you went all in, it could be a giant moneymaker. I just don't
Right.
go all in on everything because I'm one person.
Right. You
Right.
can't go in on, all in on 28 things.
No, I go in on, I'm really, really big with about four of them. Like four
Hmm.
are like, let's go. And then the rest of them are either passive income where I've done them and they're just bringing in passive income, or um, I'm setting it up for future revenue. There's stuff like that. So,
I love
Okay,
it.
so you have to check out the show notes to see to find KariAnne, the link to KariAnne's group there, and you can check
oh, and it's
out.
called, I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No.
It's called as Hello Captain Obvious, it's called Let's Make Money membership. That's the name of it.
Okay,
I
you can
love
check
it.
out the Let's Make Money membership. We'll put a link in the show notes so you can check that out and, head over there to learn about some new ways of supplementing your earnings for the new year. I
Exactly.
love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, KariAnne. And if you want to take action on what we talked about today, make sure you check out that membership. And it's packed with information to help you, get started in finding some new revenue streams for your business. And then don't forget to really lean into your personal brand and figure out what that is.
And listeners, we would love to hear from you. So tag us on Instagram at the Smart Influencer with your biggest takeaway from today's conversation, or drop us a DM and let us know how you're applying what you heard here today.
Yeah. Thanks for spending time with us today. We'll be back next week with another episode to help you grow smarter, work less, and earn more. See you then.